It's never been easier to go use AI to create apps, software, websites. And today, that's the conversation we're going to have. If you've been beating your head against the wall saying, hey, how can I go build recurring revenue? How can I go build software? And I don't want to go pay hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And this conversation is where you need to be today, because we have Justin Burns in the studio, and he's going to be talking about how you can go use AI to build an online revenue stream and go build your own app with AI. And I'm so excited because this alone has changed my life. I've built 3 apps with AI. I've totally replaced a lot of expenses in my business just by going and implementing what he teaches. So I'm excited for you all to learn from one of my coaches, one of my friends, Mr. Justin Burns, on how you can go about building your own app with AI. Justin, welcome to the show, man. Excited to have you. One of the GOATs, one of the legends in the space, and just welcome in. We're excited to have you.
Yeah. Grateful to be here, man. Appreciate you.
Awesome, 100%. So listen, AI is everywhere. People are talking about, Chat GPT. They're talking about Claude. They're talking about Replit, Lovable, all these things. And so today I want to talk about how the audience listening in today can go straight to building out apps with AI. And so, but real quick, I think it is important that people hear your experience, because I don't want people to think that we're just bringing in anybody. We're bringing in somebody that has years of experience in the tech space, built a software that has, you've invested millions of dollars probably to build the thing. So give people a little bit of backstory about who you are so they know you have credibility to talk about this today. And you're not just somebody that learned vibe coding on YouTube a week ago and is now teaching it.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who are just like they learn vibe coding and then they just decided to start teaching. So my name is Justin Burns. I'm the founder of Maestro, Studio Book, a few other apps. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the past, almost 15 years. I was fired from my job in 2009, which was a gift and a curse. At the time, it felt like a curse. Ended up turning into a gift. Thankfully, they fired me. I went to a event in 2009, and this guy from stage said that people from all around the world were going to buy digital products from London, Spain, Germany. It got me hooked in. I didn't want to do the traditional go to college and get a degree. Nothing wrong with college and degree, but I wanted something completely different. So I decided to go all in on the internet. Once I seen it, I started selling digital products in 2000 and 10, and then I did all type
2010.
of
Wow.
stuff like affiliate marketing. I had an agency, Mike. I was doing everything, funnel
You
building.
sound like me.
I was doing everything. And then around 2015, a light bulb went off where I met he's still a good friend of mine, Mark Thompson. I met him. I was a copywriter. We're doing copywriting services, and he became a good friend of mine. And he was building a app. He's building a web-based app that he had generated $10 million that year. It piqued my interest because I knew the technology was going to take over the world. And this was 2015. And so fast forward 2016, I built my first app. It was called Script Engage. It was a app, we have AI, right? You don't need those copywriting tools without AI. But before AI, it was very hard to get a lot of copy written. So me being a copywriter, I said, man, people need Facebook ads and Google ads and all type of ads, landing pages, all type of things. So I said, listen, why not just build something that can help people do it? So they answered some questions, it spit out their copy. And when we first launched it, about 6 months in, which we're going to be talking about this in this episode, vibe coding and doesn't mean that you're going to get sales. So I'm going to talk about my learnings from that. And so we went on, we did no sales for about 6 months. And then a light bulb moment clicked after about 6 months. We built Script Engage, and we went from hardly no customers to almost 5,000 customers in 6 months. And then after that, we went on to do 20,000 sales from that particular product. And then that led to me selling that business and putting all the money into Maestro, which we started coding Maestro in 2017. And I've spent millions of dollars on developers, testers, coders, operations people, you name it. So I'm here to tell you that we're living in one of the greatest times in history, but I got the battle scars to prove it. And we're going to talk about what you guys could do with the opportunity today.
I love it. And there's a lot of great things I want to ask, about your story. But first, I want to kind of dive into the world of vibe coding and like how you actually go and build apps with AI. Because a lot of people they're like, yo, this sounds cool, but how do you even start that, right? Like what is in that first step? So you learn that hey, you don't need to spend millions of dollars now to go do these things. And so what are like some of the intro, I guess points to getting into building apps with AI and getting started? Because I'm going to ask you about like the sales part. You mentioned that like you can build the app, but you doesn't mean you're going to go make money. So I want to hit on that, and I want to talk about like how you went from zero sales to what you say over 5,000 customers, which is mind blowing. But kind of like share with us like the basics, right? Because I kind of know a little bit about vibe coding, but like what is Justin's way to truly go and build an app with AI, and how do you do it fast?
Yeah. So one of the things I tell people, right? Like I always say this, and you might hear me say this on multiple episodes, right? I say we're living in one of the greatest times in history, and most people don't know it. You'll hear me say that, and I truly mean that, right? And then I'm also I tell people I'm a technologist at heart. I don't just study. I study, don't just study like the latest greatest tools or trends. I study futurism because I believe that the future is now, and so. But a lot of people aren't prepared for it, which is why there were 300,000 jobs last month lost, and there's going to be more people losing jobs. So I always tell people the people who use AI will replace people, but I go a step further and say the people who use AI to create technology will control their own destiny, right? And so right now, there's such a great opportunity to create apps, games. I mean, whatever idea you have, there's a problem out there to solve it. Here's the challenge though, that has been the challenge. Developers have been the challenge. Technology has been the challenge. How expensive everything has been. I have spent, and this is documented, right, Mike? This is documented. I've spent over $1 million with on like paying developers. Now I own the company Maestro. It's an enterprise app. If you don't believe me, go to Maestro, Maestro. You can see it's a complete enterprise app. And so we've had many developers, and I made a lot of mistakes. And I want to help you avoid them. So here's my simple process for taking any idea and turning it into an app. First off, there's three types of apps that I like to always tell people. Number one is you have a web-based app. So this is what people use on their computers, right? So people are either like the great part about apps that people don't understand is that people are normally doing one or two things, right? They're either addicted to their phones or they're addicted to their computers, right? That's what most of society is. So that's why you have these companies that are doing 50 million, 100 million, 200 million dollars with apps. And so there's a four-step process that I go through. But first is number one, people are either using web apps. This is your examples like Slack. This is your Zooms, like, Zoom. This is Ecamm. This is Canva, right? Many of you probably use Canva. By the way, Canva is worth over $10 billion because, again, people use their app every single day. So that's web apps. The second type of app is what we call a mobile app. So for the past 6 months, the average person has downloaded a app on their phone. Almost they've purchased between 6 and 8 apps paid. We're not talking about downloads. We're talking about the average person purchases between 6 and 8 apps every single and within a 6 month period of time. And there's some people who purchase more, right? So then the last type of app is tools. These are your simple tools. These are like your calculators. These are like the things that people use that don't necessarily have a complete back-end infrastructure. So, what we're going to talk about in this episode, I want you guys to understand like if you go through the four-step model of my system, is going to guarantee you that you have what I call a 1% app. What's a 1% app? Anytime you make recurring revenue on the app, it's literally 2 to 10x what your company is valuable, right? Because technology companies are the number one companies in the world that are worth, far superior than the average company in terms of evaluation. So let's go through this right here. We're going to uncover each of these steps. Number one is ideation. Okay, so ideation means that you have an idea that is proven in the marketplace. Now, there's two types of ideas we're going to go through. Number one, the two types of ideas are ideas that already exist in the marketplace and new ideas. These are the two type of ideas that's out there. So, in a sense, when we think about new ideas, you might think new ideas, well, I need to create a new idea. Well, here's my premise, right? I tell people this all the time. You don't need to create a brand new concept. There's so much money in proven concepts. Companies that have raised millions of dollars, who have already have a bunch of money. They've already proven ideas. Here's where the riches are in apps, Mike. Like, this is where the riches are. The riches are taking a proven concept and putting it into niches. That's what, like, if I tell people all the time, if you start with a new idea, you could do a new idea, but listen, it's going to take you more time. You got to talk to people and have to go through all these conversations and have to do all of this. Where the money is taking a concept and niching it down to the dentists, to the skilled workers, to the people that are not being served, right? The other type of industries is like niche areas. Like, I was just on with a client. We were talking about how her island that she's on right now, they don't have any type of payroll and accounting software. So you can also niche by location, but you can also, the biggest thing is niching down to a specific niche audience. Okay. So that's the first part of the formula. We'll talk deeper about that. The second part is what we call prototyping. So prototyping is basically being able to design the front end of an app and the back end of an app, right? So just for kind of clarification, the front end of an app is what people see, what they interact with, the beauty of it. When you go to Canvas, when you log into an app, there's the beauty of it, right? But then there's the back end of it that has a lot of tech, right? So there's the front end and the back end. So when you prototype, and I like prototyping is one of the most valuable things you can do, but it's only a percentage. And I will venture to say, Mike, like most people focus on prototyping. They spend 90%, Mike, like, hear me out. 90% of people spend most of their time prototyping. And that's why they never make any money, because they never validate if their idea is true. And they don't do number three, which we're going to talk about next. They don't do number three, and they don't do the final thing, which is profitability, making sure that their company is profitable. So number two is prototyping. Okay. Number three is what we call distribution. What is distribution? Distribution is the ability for you to get your app out there in a big way where, one, your app is talked about. Okay. People talk about your app and it has a word of mouth component to it. And then number two is being able to scale your app with things like paid ads and other methodologies. I find that even technical founders don't focus on distribution and marketing because they're so focused on how can I get more features into the app. When you combine those three, you have step number four, which is now we can profit. And that's why Maestro, and between all of my various apps, I have over 30,000 customers because of the four-step formula. So that's pretty much, we could break any of those down, Mike, that you want, but that's how I've been able to be successful with
I
it.
love it. You make it sound so simple, man. And one of the things I learned from you just listening to past trainings and listen to you here is like, don't overcomplicate the ideation. I think a lot of people go and they're like, I don't have this idea yet. And you're like, no, you can go and use, like, there's proven tools out there that you can go make better or that people are already paying for. You can go and, niche it down, like you said, go and, maybe create ones per city, per state, right? And really use what's already working out there. And actually, I got to sit in on a class with Justin where he was actually showing a class how they can go and, use some secret tools to come up with ideas. I don't know. I heard he's running an event. He may be talking about those secret tools on that event. But I watched him go and actually these sites and go research and find literally ideas of apps within seconds and minutes. And so you all, if you're here and you're like, yo, I would love to build an app and like my own software, and I just don't know where to start. Like, start with what he just said. Sometimes it's not about creating the newest thing. It's about going and finding what's already working and just creating, like, working off of that. And so I love that. And so what tools? So I know a lot of people are thinking, Justin, this is cool. Like, I already have this big idea, right? I already have this idea of what I want to build. And so what would you say, like, right now, I want to go build this. This sounds great. I have the ideation. I want to start going to that prototype and like start building those things. What tools do you use? Like, because I hear there's debates on Replit, Lovable, Bolt. There's all these other platforms. So like, is one of them better than the other? Which one do you prefer? And like, how do you actually go about building this? Is there like a process to it?
Yeah, so so basically, you're always gonna see like so many different tools dropping. There's gonna be a debate, my tool versus this tool, and you have so many people that are debating which tool is better, right? So here's I kind of break it down to a couple criteria. Number one, you want a company that has really great support. Number two, you want someone that always gives updates, and I'm sure there's many of them out there. And then number three, you want to test different tools when you because I tell people all the time, it's not necessarily the tool all the time, it's the prompting, right? Sometimes the tool is great, but it's what you say to it. It's not necessarily just about using a tool. Somebody can use, like, so many people complain about Lovable. One day they're going to sponsor me, Mike. They're going to sponsor because I'm one of their greatest advocates, right? But one of the things people tell me, oh, you can't finish a app with Lovable, and I tell people that's trash. Like, that's not true. I've finished 5 apps with Lovable. It's, again, how you prompt it. It's how you it's how you go through and fix bugs, and how you go through that process. There's easier bugs where you want to be the driver of AI. Here's how you make AI do what you want it to do. You don't let AI control the process. You control AI. I tell people this all the time. People out here, with the reason why they don't get the results from tools like Claude or Lovable or whatever it is, they never control the process. Like, there's times where I tell, and this is what happens from experience, there's times where I tell these AI tools, I'm like, that's not correct, right? So you have to kind of know, and then it'll say, oh, you're right. So you can't 100% say, like, AI is going to do everything. So you have to, one, know how to prompt. Once you get your prompting done, then number two is using the actual tool. Two of my favorites I love Lovable and I like Replit, because they both have really good customer service. I really like their tools. They're always updating their tools. Now there's other ones like Create Anything. We're working on our own mobile app builder right now. So we're working on, for building mobile apps, we're working on that. But one of the things, like I said, is those are my two favorite tools, my Replit and Lovable, because they're easy. Lovable to me is like for more beginners. So if you're kind of like, you haven't built an app, Lovable will probably be the best. And then Replit, you can build kind of more stuff, more technical stuff, because you can hook up things like MCPs, you can hook up servers, you can hook up special databases. So those are my two favorite tools.
So I know you love Lovable. I know I'm a big fan of Replit. I have a question. A lot of people come and say, but so what's the cost comparison? And I hear this big debate as well. So like, number one, how much can you spend to get like an app that's ready to go? I'm sure it depends on features, but I'll let you tell me. Like, how much does it cost to get an app up with AI? And then also, I hear a lot of people debating that these vibe coded, that's what the term is, right? Vibe coded apps are any good. I hear a lot of people say, yo, man, these, there's so much security risk with them. And so, like, just would love to hear from you. Like, how do you combat that? Are there security risk with these? Because ultimately, I don't want to build an app myself if there's going to be a bunch of, people hacking in and like information getting leaked. Like, what do you say to that? Because you've been in the game for a while. You know security versus non-security, and I think that's one thing that sets you apart. So let's talk about the cost, and let's talk about the security behind it.
Yeah, so what you always want to remember is that the biggest challenges when it comes to building apps or technology is going to come down to security and bugs. But what I will tell you is that there will always be some level of security issues, and you may ask why. Is because systems that you use, database systems, server systems, even programming languaging systems, they're always being updated, and there's always bugs and all type of security issues within that. That's not even talking about your app. So that's one, right? There'll always be security patches that need to be fixed and updated. So I always tell people, you're always going to have some level of security issues. Number one. Number two, there will always be bugs. You will always 100% of the time have bugs. Okay, with any system that you use, it doesn't matter how great you do it, you're going to have bugs. So the way that you mitigate both of those, and the great part about AI, Mike, is that AI is getting better at making security really good, right? So like in Lovable, they have an entire security audit that you can do, and a lot of people don't know, it's like in the top corner, where you can press the security button and it will do a security scan of your app. Okay, so these tools are actually starting to integrate a lot of security features into it. And then with bugs, I tell people this all the time. Depending on the complexity of the app you're trying to build, you may down the road want to get a developer if you want to take this very seriously. Now, I'm not saying you need a developer. You can build an app. It just depends on the complexity of what you're building. Some vibe coding people, you have the tech bros. The tech bros are, a lot of them are intimidated by AI, not knowing that these tools are going to get better and over time, and they already are getting better, and they have a race with each other to compete. So they're making these tools actually much better. And so you have the tech bros that they go and they be like, oh my God, like AI sucks. And so they're kind of like bashing AI and say, this code is terrible. But here's what I'll tell you. Like, I've had 4 different developers. I still have a development team, and I've coded an app. And many people, I mean, they have to go in. They said, this is some really clean code. So you just have to, what you have to do, and that's why you guys got to join the Aspen with AI Summit, because, um, I tell people, like, we're not talking about vibe coding. Vibe coding is a small portion of building an app. It's all about having the system, right? It's about understanding security. It's about understanding how to do bug fixes and those things. And that's how you're going to build a technology. But what I will say in closing this kind of statement, like, we're going to see, and they already exist, we're going to see 1 to 2 people, 1 to 2 person $1 billion technology companies. Now, I'm also fighting for that too. I'm not a 1 person show, but I would say, like, in the next few years, you're going to see 1 person to 2 person $1 billion companies that are currently being built. So, and that's why I tell people we're living in one of the greatest times in history, because you're going to be able to do that. And the technology gets better, it gets more evolved, and that's why tell people, like, the tools are only going to get better. Lovable just added a security fix, part of their platform that does security fix on your code. But you always want to make sure that you get help when you are about to go to production. You always want to get a second pair of eyes or people who know what they're doing.
I love it. Somebody like you, for sure. Somebody like you. If you guys didn't hear, he is hosting a summit. I'll put the link below. Make sure you tap into that if you really want to go build apps with AI. That's probably the #1 event out there to go do it. So I'm excited to even be in there myself. So, as far as the cost, because I want to really make sure we hit on that. A lot of people say, well, Justin, like, what if I have $1,000 or $2,000 saved up? Is that enough to go build an app with AI, or is it something like, because comparing 1 million to 50,000, even that's a big difference, right? Or do they need to have a bigger nest egg to go and build a software? So, what do you think is like the average cost to go ahead and get one deployed, an app or a software deployed with AI?
Yeah, so you can definitely, that's the great part about today. You don't need a lot of, you don't, like, for me, the first app I built, Script Engage, I spent $20,000, like $20,000 doing the first version of Script Engage, right? So that was my first app that I built. It cost me $20,000 to prototype. And that's not even counting the development costs and everything. So what I tell people all the time is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. There's certain hacks that you can do. I'll give some of them to you now, but, like, there's ways that you save money, because a lot of these systems are ran on a credit system. So you want to think about, how can I save money through credits when I'm building these systems? And most people, you can save credits by knowing how to prompt more specifically. So the more specific that you are with your prompting, the less money that you're going to have to spend. But if you go in there, you type something like a 2-line sentence, like, build a dashboard for financial planners, guess what? You're going to run through, you're going to run through all of your credits, because it's not specific enough. You are not in the details. You're just general. The second tip I'll give you guys is, that's why I like Lovable. I hope Replit gets this, but Lovable has a chat feature that it doesn't burn through as many credits. So you press the chat and you say, hey, can we plan this out before we implement a plan? And then Lovable will create a plan. I hope Replit has, maybe they do have a feature I don't know
They,
about,
they
but
do they do have a feature like that. So
okay.
I think
Okay.
it does still cost a little bit of credits, but yeah, they have that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's 2 of my favorite hacks to do, where instead of you just straight up telling it do this, you plan it out first. You plan out the strategy with tech first, and then you then take that and then you go and you chat. And then again, the more specific that you are with your prompts. Let me give everybody just a hack that's just so amazing, Mike. Let me give, because Mike is not even, I don't even Mike is doing this. One of the fastest ways to actually prompt and save a lot of money with vibe coding and creating apps is download a plugin called Whisperflow. Whisperflow is amazing. It's an app that will you can download onto your computer. And what you could do is you press one button and you can actually start vibe coding. You can code with your voice. Okay. So it's one of my favorite ways to do it. It saves so much time. You could be more specific. And so that's one of the ways I save a lot of money, because instead of me just because typing, especially vibe coding, typing can, you know, you might get arthritis from typing. So what you want to do is you want to just like make sure like do that. Boom. Every time I'm vibe code, I was vibe coded last night. I press that one button. I can talk for 5 minutes straight. Mike knows I know how to talk. I talk for 5 minutes straight, but it's so specific. I get a specific prompt. AI knows exactly what it is, and that's some of the ways I save money on
I
vibe
love
coding.
it. Actually, I have Whisperflow. I just haven't used it in that manner yet. So now you got me think. Wait, you can use that. So now I have. I love the app, by the way, and so I'll definitely try that out later. So I want
Yeah.
to kind of talk on like after building that. That's I feel like a lot of people are saying, Justin, the hardest part for me would be the distribution, right? Like how do we actually go get this in front of people? And so I kind of want to bring this conversation of how did you go from 0 customers to over 5,000 customers in the beginning, and are those same strategies like strategies you would use today? Because that seems bonkers to me. That seems wild. So how do people go distribute their app? Like what is your favorite strategies and what's your go-to?
Yeah. So, the interesting part about when we think about, when we sit here and we think about distribution on the internet, we say, if you put 100 people, say, in a room, right? That's a lot. That would be considered a decent amount of people, right? And so when you say 100 people online, though, it's the same kind of visual. Just want you to visualize this for a second, having 100 people in a room. But then I want you to think about that online in comparison to the billions of people that you have access to. And that's why when I saw the opportunity of the internet in 2009, I said this is going to be the biggest thing, because every single day, 22,000 people who have never used the internet come online, right? And very soon, the entire world, especially as things like Starlink and other companies come where anybody in remote areas can have internet, like the world is going to be changing. The world is going to be commerce, and then it's going to be easier for people because you have things like digital wallets coming, so people can be able to do crypto transactions and multiple transactions. So this is a great time. So in terms of me getting 5,000 customers, though, I thought about it just like that. I said, and I have a premise. I think first you have to start with the idea that if one to two people who you don't know pull out their credit card and purchase from you, you now have what we call something called a buyer DNA. A buyer DNA is something where two or three people resonate with your website, they resonate with your landing page, whatever it is, and they say, "This is for me." They raise their hand, they press the buy button, and they pull out their credit card and buy. That's what we call a buyer DNA. So many people first think about, they visualize and say, "Oh my God, if I can make 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 dollars a month." I think that's the wrong approach mentally. I think first you have to visualize yourself doing 2 to 3, 4, or 5 customers first. If you can get 2 to 3, 4, or 5 customers who don't know who you are to give you money, you now have the blueprint to unlimited amounts of customers. And so for me, when those first 2 or 3 customers bought, I didn't say mentally, I didn't say, "Oh my God, only 2 or 3 people bought, only made $500." I said, "Oh my God, 2 or 3 people bought. Now let me go try to find these same buyer DNA type style customers all online." So you have so many places, but here's the thing, Mike. So many people only look in one place. They only look like Facebook. They only look at Twitter, then whatever vehicle. But guys, listen, I want you guys to understand there's so much traffic on the internet. And when you get out of the same comfortable places like Facebook or Twitter, and you realize there's just so many places. So what we did when we didn't have a lot of money, what we did was we did something. We first started off with what we call a lifetime deal. So here's a hack that still works today. When you are building your app, don't just think about how you could start off and charging premium prices. That's the wrong approach. That's not the right approach. The best approach to try to get customers is with your app is first either offer a founder's price or a lifetime deal. What that's going to do is attract people into your program, number one, because you're not charging full price, number one. Number two, it allows for people to experience your app, give you feedback, and make your app better. So many people, when it comes to distribution, they're trying to charge as much as a competitor, and they haven't made sure their app is great. They haven't made sure their app is working well. That was the biggest mistake I made. So learn from me. I went out there and I tried to charge as much as everybody else, and my app wasn't as good when I started Maestro. So then when you take a step back, what I did was I did a lifetime deal. We made $50,000. That went into development, right? Because I did a lifetime deal. And I was honest with people. I said, listen, you're going to get access to this lifetime deal. We're going to make, we're going to make improvements, and they get lifetime access. Now you might be saying, Justin, how can you sustain a business with lifetime? Well, again, you have to make sure that you structure your lifetime deal where it doesn't cost you a lot. That was another mistake that I made, which was you don't want to have things like video and audio and so many things that can make your server costs go through the roof. So the first step in distribution is do a founders, or you could do a founders price where you still charge something like, it's not lifetime, but you could charge something yearly. That's one of the best strategies I tell for people. If you want to make money right up front and you want people to look at your app as a no-brainer and they come along for the ride for you, do a lifetime. That's how I got my first 5,000 customers. The second way is we have an affiliate program. So what you could do is not going to cost you anything. Just have an affiliate program and go out there and start getting people to promote your product, get influencers to review your product. One of the greatest opportunities nowadays is you can have AI influencers who are promoting your product. You can also go out there, go to TikTok. You can find influencers in those spaces, and they will also promote your product for a flat fee. So these are just some strategies. You got to come to the summit to get the rest, but these are just some strategies of how I didn't pay for in the beginning any customers, and I completely got Maestro funded, bootstrap Maestro completely, and I own majority of my company now. We're completely bootstrapped. We're profitable, and I'm able to pay my employees, and I'm able to also. I traveled the world last year over 13 different countries, and it was exciting. So that's how you really do distribution the smart way.
Man, I love it. And the founders launch, I think that's something I'm even to do myself, but that's so brilliant, right? And I've kind of looked back, I've seen only a few people do that, and I'm like, oh, now I understand why they did their founding members launch. And they probably, who knows, they may even learn from you. They may even saw you do it in the past. Now they're taking that. So I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So let's talk real quick because I don't want to hold you too long. I know you got so much to do. So they have the ideation, they come up with that, they build the app. We talked about that, that portion of it. We talked about distribution, right? But I want to talk about how you can use apps in your business, because some people may be watching this and like, okay, I've gotten this far and I don't really know how I'm going to use an app, if I'm going to be honest, in my
Mhm.
business. Like, Justin, what else? And you mentioned something at one point that really clicked in my head. You talked about how apps can be the greatest lead magnet in a business, and how nobody's really looking at lead magnets and apps as the same thing, and like how they cross intersect. So just talk about that. What did you mean when you told me one day, you said, Michael, apps are the next lead magnets? What does that mean for you? And then how can people in here, if they're like, yo, I don't know how to use an app or a software, like what would be some ideas on how they can maybe use them in their business?
Yeah, so I always say, like, if you want to have one of the most effective lead magnets possible, use an app, right? Use a tool. So think about it like this. When, let's say, you come to a website and you see somebody's face on it and they're asking for your name, email address, and phone number, right? And what do you think will convert better? Do you think that with a face will convert better, or do you think a app where its technology will convert better? And if you've guessed, the answer is number two, right? We don't think about, when we're giving up our information, we see technology companies, like, think about when we go to like Instagram and you first signed up for Instagram. Like, you didn't think about like all this verification. You weren't necessarily hesitant. You trusted Instagram. You trusted the technology. So a lot of times, like right now, many people are trusting of technology. So you can even get higher conversions by just simply having a piece of technology in your company. And you can build a tool. So you can take, say, for example, I just gave this idea to a one of my clients. She's a financial planner. I'm like, well, the hardest part about financial planning is people visualizing their wealth and seeing how they can be wealthy. So what if you had a simple tool where people can first get an action step. So they go and put in their numbers first, and they can see like they get a score. And then the next action step after they get the score is they can get their name, email address, you get their phone number if you want to see the rest of the results. So you can give them a small portion, the fastest way to turn leads into sales and build an app that promotes your business and makes your business more money is you can first let them take the action. Don't even ask for the information up front first, right? First, get a small portion of the information. Then what you do is you give them some of the results, and then to get the rest of the results, they have to enter in more of the information, right? And so more people are going to want more of the detailed results, and you can use AI and an app to completely give them, more maps, and they can get more results just by doing that alone.
Man, that's a bar. That's a bar right there. I think a lot of people are gonna go
Bars,
run.
bars.
They're gonna go run that play alone and go make some money and go get some leads. And
Yes.
so that's I kind of you reframe my mindset around that. If I want to be honest, I was like, man, how can I use apps to get some new leads and to generate more revenue? Because I always just thought of like, hey, has to be like a recurring revenue. Somebody signs up on a software, but no, it's not. It's not just going and build an app or a software for people to pay you, but hey, how can you create something once that can be something that's attractive to your audience and pull people into your ecosystem, like you just mentioned. I love that example. And so, we have the summit coming up. We have apps built with AI.com. If you guys are interested in learning from Justin, for anybody here and they're like, hey, this sounds amazing. Like I wanna jump in. I wanna create my first app. Like let's go do it. I'm gonna go do it today. Like you got me hyped. You got me excited. What would be like just one last piece of wisdom that you would give them is like, hey, before you start on this journey, make sure you do this or make sure you know this. What would be that last piece of wisdom for them?
Yeah, so in this journey, learn from me. I've spent again over $1 million in development costs, developers, and a lot of that went to, I would say, waste. So the biggest thing is have an idea, validate your idea. You can use sites like Product Hunt, microsasideas.com. There's so many sites out here that will show you how you can validate an idea. A lot of the research has been done, so there's no need for you to guess anymore. There's no need for you to say, hey, is this going to work? Because you can go look at customer reviews, you can do so many things. And then now AI makes design and prototyping so easy, that you could do it. And then finally, um, make sure you focus on distribution. Make sure that you go out there and start trying to get customers as fast. One of the fastest way to fail is sitting on an idea for months and months and months and you're not launching. It's why when you register for the Aspect with AI, I'm going to show you all of those 3 steps and then it go into 4 steps, which is profitability. In my opinion, if you use frameworks like this, you're going to be separated from 99% of people. Here's a stat: 95% of people who vibe code never officially press the launch button. They never bring their app to market because they're missing these 3, 4 components. Okay. So again, go out there. There's so much opportunity. There's so many problems to solve. You got a couple years of window time where before people figure out. Somebody was saying this, Mike. It was so interesting. I was watching. I have an interview with Ashcast on YouTube that's has approach about 50,000 views right now, and one of the comments on there was like the guy said, "Oh, AI is so vast that there's going to be so much opportunity in 2 to 3 years, and everybody's going to be able to build an app." And I was like, "You don't understand the law of competition, right? The law of competition doesn't mean that there's not going to be opportunity years. It's just that the people, right? Think about the internet companies that were around, when like the people who got monopoly right now, right? The Canvas, right? Like because they started early, they have a competitive advantage. Why? Because they built first. They built first. You now though that's one app you can't rip off right now, right? I mean, you can, but it's harder to rip off a platform like Canva. So I tell people all the time, just like it's hard to rip off Maestro, in a sense because of some of the components we do. You can rip off some of it, but you can't rip off the full app. So the people who get there first always have a competitive advantage all the time. And so right now, don't think, run, register for the summit. We're going to help you build out your app, and stop delaying the ideas. Don't be one of those people that say, I call them idea writers, Mike. The idea writers are, you see something, you're passing by, and you're like, oh, I had an idea like that. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I had an idea. Don't be one of those people, guys. Like, don't be like, be the people. And that's why people say, Justin, how are you launching all this? Like, I got 5 apps. I got Maestro. We got Absolute AI. People say, how do you do so much? And I tell people, there's only so much time I have here. And I want people to say, whenever my time comes, I want people to say, like, Justin made an impact on my life. Justin helped me, and this was something that I am excited about. So go register for the summit. You're going to get all the tools, resources, everything that you need, but more importantly, take action. Stop waiting. Go build a piece of technology that could change someone's life. Don't hesitate. Don't wait.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate it. Don't wait. Run, get there first, and you'll be surprised at what's possible. So thanks, Justin. Everybody, make sure you go follow him at CEO Justin Burns on Instagram. But then listen, go to the appsbuiltwithai.com. So Justin, we appreciate you, man. This is going to be a fire event. I think the last one you said you had several hundred people, and this one's projected to be thousands of people. And we're excited, man. We're excited to see just all the lives that are changed. So we appreciate you for coming into the studio, the virtual studio, and just sharing the knowledge. And I'm excited to see where it leads so many people. So we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So y'all, listen, go take this information and run with it. I've actually been living proof that this stuff works. I built multiple apps myself. Justin's coached me through this, and I just want to say everything he said is true. It's not one of those things where you just, it's kind of true. Like, does it work? No. He has students. He showed me receipts. Students come in and literally within a day, 2 days, actually have apps being built. Apps they go start selling. I'm just like, what? How do you do that? And so if you're here, I would ask you, and I would challenge you to ask yourself, hey, like, what are some apps or softwares or ideas that you can use in your business? Because this is the new wave. He's already said it. Tech is the new wave. AI and tech together is the revolution we're in right now. And so I want you to ride the revolution, ride that wave as we're here. And so find a way, that'd be my challenge today, is just like, hey, how can you implement what we just talked about today for your business? You may not have this big grand app idea just yet, but how can you use it as a lead magnet maybe? Or how can you use it in the future for yourself? So that's my challenge for you guys. Go click the link below to get into the summit. I promise you won't regret it. It's completely free. I don't know if we mentioned that part at all. I don't know if Justin said that or myself earlier, but it's completely free if you want to join in on the Apps Built with AI Summit. Go ahead and click below and do that. But y'all, listen, we appreciate you for tuning in to another $1 Million Secrets podcast. Go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you're tapped in below so that you get future episodes. And y'all, just like always, we're going to continue bringing amazing guests that actually do the things they teach. And we're going to bring you everything AI, sales, marketing to make sure that you win in this year and the future to come. So thank you for being here. Have a great day. Justin, thank you again. We'll see you all very soon in the next episode.